welcome back to my channel, The Little Sewing Room. My name's Chris. First thing I need to do is apologise. It's been about 5 weeks since my last post. Life's been a bit hectic and things have not gone as I expected. As it says in my title, where have I been? And a huge disappointment. The first thing I need to say is I'm going to show you my May makes. Some of them are what I took on holiday. We went to Italy for 10 days. Had a lovely time. Weather was beautiful. Did have a bit of a scare before we went because they had floods. But that wasn't in the part of Italy where we were going. So I'll start off with my May makes and then I will talk about my disappointment. So because we were going to Italy, I thought I'll take clothes that will be cool because I was hoping it was going to be warm. So one of the first things I did is I made the Sapphire Trousers, and I've made them in this cotton, linen look cotton. I will put some pictures in. I'm not one for wide leg trousers. When I was younger, in the 60s, 70s, wide leg trousers were all in, and I spent more time trying not to trip myself up because as I walked they flap together and they used to catch, and yeah, so I spent more time trying not to fall down than I did enjoy wearing them. But I thought I'll give them a go. You know, I know loads and loads of people have made them. Easy make, as it says, tilly than the buttons, as always. I like that you've got the plain band at the front and the elasticated back. So made those and really do like them. The fabric is some that I got from the stitching show at the NEC, and when I cut them out and made them up there was some left, so I thought, right, what am I going to do with that? So I thought I'll make a top to go with them. So I had a quick look through my patterns, and I came up with this one, which is the Simplicity K9 107. I don't think you can see that. I'm sorry about the light, it's a really sunny day today. And I did this version, see, which has got the little cap sleeves. Now from looking at it, I just thought it's a baggy t-shirt. But then when I actually looked at the pattern, if you look on the back, you've got a pleat detail on the back. And I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. So with the waist form, the Sapphire Trousers, I made this top. You'll have to excuse the creases. It's been folded up in my drawer. And I thought I'd got some of this white Swiss dot that I had left from the white dress I made, and I thought, well, I'll use that for the sleeves, and then on the back, as you can see, I think you can just see it there, the pleats. I did think of putting a little bit of embroidery on there, but just didn't have time. It is quite a loose fit, which with the hot weather we've been having, it is nice to wear, and it was quite an easy make. This one, as you know, the tilly and the buttons goes from a 1 to a 10, which is 34¼ waist up to a 52-inch waist, so quite a good size range. This one, being a Simplicity pattern, goes from extra small, which is a 32-34 European size, up to an extra large, which is a 52 European size. So it goes from like a 6 to 8 to a 26. So not too bad, but could have done with being better. But as I say, sometimes the main 4 patterns don't have a big size range. So that was pattern number 2. Another thing is, I thought, well, I have bought a new table, which I've shown you, but I thought I'll show you, I'll try and use up some of the waste I've got and see what we can make. So my next one was the Butterick B4685, and I did the main picture one. And this goes from a size 8 to a 22, but it doesn't actually give you the sizes, so it doesn't say what size bust or anything. It says it's a very easy pattern. And as I say, I did the main one, and I made it out of the waste of the green wrap dress material that I made. Now looking at it, doesn't look much. Looks nice on, it just looks a bit odd when it's just hanging there. I decided to put the little bit of trim on. Now it should be bigger than that. I bought the wrong size trim, but then I made it fit. It is one that you can wear off the shoulder if you want to. And I thought it looks very pretty and very summery, so that was the second top that I made. This vlog ought to be about using up waste, because that's all I've done with most of them. The next one is, this is a hack. It's the K9125 Simplicity pattern, which goes from a size 4 up to a 26, or XXS up to XXL. And what I wanted to do is that version, but just make it into a top, although I haven't put an elasticated waist, I've just made it straight. And for that one, I used the Swiss dot that I had left from my white dress, and then the bit I had left, as I say, just did the cuffs on that blue top. And this is the top. The tie goes through the back pieces and has a slit, and then it goes through the front pieces where it ties. I'm sorry, I've got it back to front. It's that way around. So that's the back, and that's the front where it ties. And I just did it as a straight top and quite a short top. I didn't want it too long. Easy. It was very easy to do. I just had to measure from under the arm to how far down I wanted it, and then just made the pattern straight. I might make the dress at some point. I did find it quite nice to make. I bound the armholes with a stretch bias binding. So that was that one. And then, of course, I did what everybody's doing at the minute, and I decided to make a maple top. The maple top I made out of this cotton that I got from the stitching show. And it seems quite stiff at the minute. It has been washed, and I think once it's been washed again, it'll probably not be quite as stiff. Again, quite nice. When I've worn it, I do feel that I ought to have extended it and done the shirring a little bit further down and just made that a little bit longer. It does seem to sit quite high. I don't know whether it's because I think the waist's in a different place to what it actually is or what, but you know how we are when we get to a certain age, you can't tell where your waist starts and stops. But yeah, I quite like it, and thought of making a dress is very high on the list. It's been, it's one of those that you have to concentrate when you're doing it to make sure you get your joins where the join is for the sleeves. But yeah, I think I made a size 2 in this. And as we all know, Tilly's patterns go from a 1. Oh, this one goes from a 1 to a 15, so it's better than the Sapphire's. Which is a UK size 6 up to a UK size 34, or from a 30 bust up to a 60-inch bust. So quite inclusive, that one. You do have the choice of the top or the dress. I know you'll have seen loads and loads and loads of Mabels out there. I made mine in this cotton. I would think about making it in a viscose. So it's just a matter of trying it out. So that was my May makes, because we went on holiday towards the end of May. That's all the makes that I did. The holiday to Italy was absolutely fantastic. We really enjoyed it. We've not been abroad for 6-7 years. What with the pandemic and looking after grandkids and stuff like that, it's always been a bit fitting it in. So plus his passport ran out while the pandemic was on, so we'd got to renew passports and things like that, which we kept putting off. But we decided we'd seen this holiday, and we thought that we would last year we went to Isle of Wight, and the year before we went to Eastbourne. But we thought we'd do one abroad this year. So we had a look. We'd never been to Italy, so we thought it'd be nice to do Italy. So I said, yeah, that's the one I prefer out of the ones we've seen. So we booked it. And it was a coach tour, and the only thing is we were picked up at 2 AM in the morning, and we had an overnight stay in France and then on to Italy. Because of the floods in Italy, we couldn't go the way that they usually go, so we went through the Mont Blanc tunnel, which was quite nice to see the scenery up there, and then we arrived in our resort mid-afternoon on the second day. Lovely hotel, nice little place we stayed in called Montecatini, and included in the price was visits to Florence, Vienna, Siena, Pisa, Lucca, and Viareggio, which was a seaside town. Absolutely stunning. No litter, everything spotlessly clean. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, that was the really good thing for me. Well, it was June by then. We got back on the Wednesday, and as I was saying, it's been quite hectic before we went on holiday. As I've been saying about my eyesight, it's terrible. I've got cataracts, and they are really bad. and for me to sew, I have to be very close to the sewing machine for me to be able to see. For me to sew in a straight line, I've always got my nose touching the needle. And I also have a pair of these. So when I'm unpicking, I put these on. Don't laugh. So that I can see. So these have got these lenses, and there's a set of 4 lenses, different strengths, and even with my glasses on and these on, I'm struggling to see. Just bear with me because I can hear a dog. She's wanting to know who I'm talking to because she's very nosy. So if you just excuse me 1 minute. Oh, we've got 2 nosy dogs. So, come on then. Come and say hello. You don't know who you're saying hello to, but you can say hello. Look. Say hello. This is Poppy. She's a very nosy little girl. And now she's seen that there's nothing there, she wants to go. Here, Bobs. Come on. You'll have to excuse Bobby. He's looking a bit scruffy today because he keeps sticking his nose in the flower beds to get the bird seed. It falls out the bird feeder. So this is Bobby. Aren't you? So, yeah, again, this will lose interest. Are you going to go then? Come on then. No? Alright then, I'll leave you at the door. Right, so, sorry about that. So, I've been to see I've been and had an assessment in March, and I have to go every 6 months. When I went in, I think it was about September time last year, they said they still weren't bad enough to do. I just explained that, you know, I'm worrying that I'm driving and my eyesight is fine for distance. Besides, if I needed to read a number plate, I'd struggle. So it worried me a bit, and he said, no, your eyesight's fine for that. And I said, right, okay then. So came away really disappointed because it's affecting my sewing. And then I went in March this year, and he said, yes, they've deteriorated quite badly. Plus, there's something else that affects my eyes for brightness, which I realised during the winter when I was having to take my granddaughters to work because they work at a restaurant, and the mum car was off the road, and so I took them, and sometimes they weren't finishing till midnight, 12:30, and you go down a country lane where there's no lights, and as I was driving down the country lane, as anything coming the opposite direction, I had a white out. All I could see was white. I couldn't see the curb, couldn't see the white line. I slowed down and stopped. I had to wait for my eyes to adjust and then carried on. So I explained to him that this had happened, and he says, yeah, he says, you've got this thing that it will affect you because of the glare. And I says, oh, at least I know what it is, because I was beginning to get a bit worried. So he says, I'll put you down for surgery. I says, right, great, at least it's going to be sorted. So on the 10th of May, I had an appointment to go to the hospital to see the specialist. So I went, I saw the specialist, who said, yeah, we'll do surgery. And then I had my pre-op checks. I went through everything with them, and they said that they would be in touch with an appointment. So we went on holiday on the 22nd of May. On the 20th of May, which was the Saturday, I received a letter from the hospital saying, could you please ring to book your appointment to have your surgery. You've got 7 days. If you don't ring or contact us within 7 days, we'll take it that you no longer need the surgery or want the surgery. So I'm panicking, thinking, how am I going to contact him? I'll try ringing now, but being a Saturday, I don't think anybody will be there. So I rang, no answer. So then I asked him to put me through to the receptionist on the main desk. I explained to her that I'd received this letter saying I've got 7 days to ring to make this appointment, but I was going on holiday on the Monday. It would be difficult for me to ring and book the appointment. So she said, oh, it's all right, I'll send the lady who needs to know an email saying you've contacted me. Is there any dates you're not available? So I says, well, if you make it that we're back by the 2nd, that gives me a day or two extra, just in case we're delayed in any way. But any time after that, it don't matter when, put me down. I'll have it done. So she said that she'd do that, but that didn't stop me worrying that I was going to lose this appointment, which means then I have to go back to my doctor, then wait for an appointment to be assessed again at this unit, then have to go back to the hospital to see the specialist, then have to wait for an appointment. And I was just worrying, and I thought, well, this is going to be a good holiday. I'm going to spend it all worrying that I'm going to lose my appointment. So when we was on the ferry going to France, I did try ringing because we managed to connect to the Wi-Fi. So I tried ringing. 10 times I tried ringing, nobody answered. So then I resigned myself to the fact that it's not going to happen. I've tried my best, there's not a lot else I can do. Maybe when I get to where we're staying, I'll try again, but, you know. Anyway, I had a message off my granddaughter who was actually staying here and looking after the dogs while we went away. And she messaged me and said, you've had about 10 calls from the hospital. Is there any chance you can ring them? So again, I'm on the bus. I tried ringing them, no answer. So we stay overnight in France, then we get up the following morning, have breakfast, set off, driving towards Italy. And just before we got to the Mont Blanc tunnel, my phone rang. I looked at it, switched it off. And then I'm thinking, that's from home, from my time. Who would be ringing me besides the hospital? So, but then while I'm thinking this, it came that I'd got a voicemail. So I listened to the voicemail and it was actually the hospital ringing me. So I rang them hoping that I'd get somebody, and luckily I did. I explained what had happened and she says, oh, I'm so sorry. She says, I have got you booked in for the 5th of June. Is that all right? I said, yeah. I says, that's fine. I'm back off holiday then, so that'll be fine. So she says, right, so we've got you booked in for the 5th. Can you be here for 12 o'clock? So I said, yeah, I'll be there at 12 o'clock. So could enjoy the rest of my holiday. And I thought, oh, thank God for that. That's lovely. So put my mind at rest, and we had as I say, brilliant holiday. Lovely weather. And when I got home, as she said, there would be a letter waiting for me, just explaining what I needed to take and where I needed to go and stuff like that. So going through the mail, I found this thing, and part of it is because of COVID, you have to do a COVID test 3 days before you go in. So I was due to go in on the Monday, so on the Friday I did a COVID test. And my COVID test came back positive. So I couldn't have it done. So, thinking, no, it can't be right. I don't feel ill, which at the time I didn't. And I thought, right, so I did two on Friday, I did a test on Saturday, I did another test on Sunday, another test on Monday, all positive. By Monday, I was feeling a bit rough. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to ring them now and tell them I can't come. So I rang them up and I said, I'm due to come in for procedure today, but I'm afraid I've tested positive for COVID. Oh dear, she says, we'll have to rebook it. I said, right, thank you. We'll be in touch in about 7 weeks. Right. So I'm now waiting again. And I was hoping by the end of that 7 week that I would have had them both done. I'd be able to see. And it's not happening. So again, I'm back into the waiting stage. And I do find that trying to sew is really hard at the minute. So I sort of lost my mojo and really disappointed and really upset about it. And I enjoy sewing, and I just know I can't do a very good job because I can't see. So that is one reason why I've not done any vlogs, because 1, the holiday, 2, the COVID, and 3, the disappointment. But I thought about it and I thought, well, there's other things I can do. I have had a bit of a change round in my room. Not that there's a big change round, but there's some things that I've changed with the room. So I want to do a vlog on my room and some of the things I've done. I've thought of doing one about my favourite tools that I've got for sewing. There will be some sewing in there because I just can't help myself. But it will only probably be 1 item or 2 at the most, because I just struggle. I'm struggling that much now that I find it very difficult. In fact, looking at this camera, I can see myself, but I can't see no features. I just hope that it's clear enough for you, because with my eyesight I can't tell if it's clear or not. So that's how it is at the minute, and I am going to do some vlogs, and I do apologise that it's been so long since I've done one. Couldn't help it with being on holiday. I am going to put some pictures in of as a holiday, and pictures of the tops and things I've showed you. And I hope that you all have a wonderful time doing your sewing. I am envious of you all. I do think that once I've got my eyesight back to some normality, because once I've had it done, I've got to wait so long before I can have the second eye done. They'll only do 1 at a time, but they don't like to leave it too long because they don't want to put a strain on the eye that's been done while you're waiting to have the second one done. So within about 4 to 6 weeks I should have them both done. So I'm going to try and fit something in somehow, and I hope that you've all enjoyed your sewing. And here in England we've had some beautiful weather lately, so I've done a bit of pottering in the garden and sat out in the sun for a bit and tried doing a bit of embroidery with my magnifying glasses on. Do look a bit of an idiot, but what can I do? So yeah, so they're my plans for the future, not too distant future. I will keep you informed on how I go on with this hospital appointment thing, and hopefully it's not too long before I can get my eyesight back to normal. And as I say, there is 1 or 2 plans I've got not involving a lot of sewing, I'm afraid, but doing other things, showing you how I work and what I have to do at the minute because of my eyesight to try and make it that bit easier for me. But I hope all you ladies and gentlemen out there are all feeling fine, no COVID. I'm quite disappointed I've managed to get all the way through the COVID pandemic without getting COVID. I go on holiday and I come back with it. What's that all about? But it's just my luck that, you know, it happens when I'm supposed to be going in hospital. But anyway, as I say, hope you all have a great time sewing. I am envious. Can't wait to see what you make. And I'll keep in touch and let you know how I'm going on. But I do apologise for it being such a long time since I made my last vlog. And as I say, I will find something to vlog about. And I'm going to try and make it a regular thing. I keep saying this and then I have a gap. But I'm going to try and do at least one a week and see if I can keep up with it. So for now, it's goodbye and enjoy your sewing while I can't. Okay, bye.